So what's new? What's exciting?
I've got a lot of shit going on, which is good, right?
Yeah, it's always good.
I actually just accepted my first project or mission from a drone network. I almost forgot about it. I registered with Drone Genuity, and I got this email yesterday like, "Hey, can you train somebody? Close to you, like in little, almost like in a town next to me." So 3 hour training for $150. I'm like, sure. I'm like, it's not what I would charge, but what do I care? I need to find probably a local pilot anyway who could help in case off, right?
Right. So this may
So,
lead to something good. How far away is it?
oh, literally, it's down next to me, so it's like not far at all, not far at all. So, so I just need to coordinate with them. And it's interesting. They gave basically a lesson plan, right, about what it is that they want you to go over with them in those 3 hours. Which is, I kind of made something like that for another person I was working with, very similar. So I'm like, okay, kind of checks what I needed to do. And I um, I became I became part of one more network group, and that's the last one I'm gonna do. But um, one of the last ones I joined, they had a happy hour last week. I met this guy. He's a sales coach, and all of a sudden, what was it, Monday? I think it was. No, Tuesday. I get this message saying like, "Hey, my name is Mike. Phil recommended you, and we want a drone pilot in our network, and blah 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 blah. Can you join the call so we could talk?" Sure, why not? So it's a national group, but you basically, jump on groups that are local, and it is literally about referrals, right? It's not as much like, oh, I'm trying to find a builder in the group, but that is the case, great, but it's more like I know somebody that you might need to talk to, right? So they're all like, "Oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Since I joined, I got my money back in like 2 months less. So many leads, so much business out of this network." Where you're like, "This is a scam. This almost doesn't feel right." And so he said, "Hey, if you join, I'll send you 30 referrals tonight." I'm like, "Well, I can't handle 30 referrals. I'm like, if I want to be able to actually talk to people, I got so much other stuff to do. Oh, why'd you send me 15? And can we split the payment over 3 months? Because it's $950 a year." But I spoke to a couple of local people that are part of it, and they're all like, "Oh my God, my best business I've gotten through that network." Right. And
Oh,
so I'm like, okay, I went for the $330 and let's let's go for a month, see what happens. I got, I don't know, 8, 9 calls already scheduled for this week, next week to talk to people. It's like, I don't know. It's like everything you need to do to find business, right?
and these are so these referrals, are they just for drone business or are they
Excuse
just
me.
businesses that may be looking for your services but don't know they're looking for them? Does that make sense?
It's
Pointing out.
actually a little bit different. It took me a moment to kind of realize how this works because I said to the guy yesterday, I met him at my weekly local network event. I said, I'm confused. How does this work? He said, basically what it is. He said, there's like I'm talking today to a guy who helps companies start up, right? I'm talking to somebody who's got an insurance company. And so it's kind of like, hey, wait a minute, one of my clients might be a good fit for you, right? So it's like they might not be directly the one that's going to give you work, but they have their own network of customers and everything where they're like, wait a minute, this could be helpful to you, or they could help you. So I kind of did a little bit of education on what I can do for people because everybody's like, oh, you want to do weddings and real estate? I'm like, no. So not trying to sound like snobby. I said it's just not the market I want to be in. I
Yeah,
said I want to,
it's not our space.
and the biggest thing that every networking group asks me, and I'm not always, as good in answering it. Sorry, I'm just realized I have to do the latest update on the M3E. What is it, like every 3 days? There's a damn update. But it's what they say, what are your target industries, right? I'm like, okay, commercial construction, facility management, and basically anybody who wants to promote, right? Their business, their locations, their customers, their projects. That's kind of a little bit where I'm going at the moment to give them an idea of who I should be talking to, right? Or who they should be thinking about. And like the guy I was talking to yesterday, he said his two biggest customers that he currently has, he got through his network, right? I'm like, okay, let's just give it a try. It is really just, I have a very local net now and I have a more regional net now, right? Where it's like just trying to find people but it's a little overwhelming how to do everything. I've just gone, full into the networking part to make as many connections. And I was at one yesterday morning, which is a weekly one, local, and it's all exclusive, right? So I'm the only drone pilot, and I'll be the only drone pilot in that network of, I don't know, 50, 60 companies.
Nice.
And talking to two people yesterday, one is an architect. So I guide, rivet drawings. He said that really sounds interesting because sometimes it's so much work for us to go and measure a whole house or space. So how much would it be? And I'm like, well, and I kind of remembered for when I did a pricing proposal for somebody, it's about 30 cents, 30 cents a square foot as you do a rivet drawing. And so he's like, okay, and like, send me some information. Then another person is a marketing company that does marketing for the trades, right? Plumbers, everything, masonry, that kind of stuff. I said, hey, do you guys want some, cool footage? They're like, oh yes, that would be great. Give me a number, right? So, okay, so I'm there, and I got two leads, right? They're not prospects yet, but they're leads, right? You start talking to them, start building their relationship.
PK positioning error.
Yeah, sorry.
Accuracy affected.
Shut.
Fly with caution.
I wouldn't fire that up inside. Probably not a good idea.
Oh, I've done it before. When I do my my battery, when you have to do your battery maintenance.
Yep. I do it right beside the desk.
Like
yep.
half a foot above the ground, and then when it says I need to come down, let it come down so that battery goes to like less than 10%. I have to go to my air data app to see which batteries I need to do this for again.
Yep. I run mine down to 8.
But yeah, so it's
a lot of opportunity. Yeah, hope that works out. And the juice is going to be worth the squeeze on that one. Morning, everybody else that just showed up.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Sneak in. Al's here. Jeff's here.
We're not hearing you, Jeff. It shows. It doesn't show muted. It shows like a gray microphone.
Yeah, I see muted. Can you guys hear me?
I hear you fine.
Okay. All right.
There we go. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Jeff. Yeah. So, I was thinking about you, Jeff. I have an idea for you.
Okay, shoot.
Because you're using Pix4D Matic, or not Matic, Plot Advanced, correct?
Correct.
So what I did, and I've got a bite on it. I haven't sold anything, but I kind of showed it off. Went out and flew a job. Wasn't for us. I had an email address as a superintendent. Went out and flew his job site on a Saturday, put it into Pix4D Plot Advanced, and then I sent him the share link that he can't edit with.
Okay.
And then I sent him an email, hey, give me a call when you get a chance to look at this.
Mm-hmm.
And we sat down and we looked at it, we talked about it, and he's trying to draw lines on it, which he can do and whatnot. He says, well, how do I save those? I said, you can't right now.
Mm-hmm.
However,
$1 billion.
$1 million. No, I said, get with your PM and see if this is something y'all use. And I used this week at the Al knows at the Holly Hills job that I've been working for a minute. Live phone call with superintendent. I've got my iPad. He's in front of his computer. We're talking about the job site, and he's drawing lines, and I'm refreshing my screen, and we're real-time collaboration, which was awesome. I mean, it answered any questions that we had before we even got on site. We knew exactly what we were doing because we could see it in real time what he was changing for us, and that alone right there for me is worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
Is that being able to get on the phone with the superintendent, the foreman, not the plumber, no, the dirt work guys or whomever, and say, hey, do you got a minute? Or are you in front of your computer? Hold this up because you've already got the address. Let's talk about this for a minute, and everybody's on the same page. And it's better than, you know, I think I may be stealing some business for myself. Because normally, like in OAC meetings, they'll use my big map to point and talk things out. But with
Mhm.
everybody using Pix4D on this job, because everybody's got that share link, there's no need for my map on this job.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you're using it with him in that manner, guess what he's going to do with other folks that are
Yep.
involved in the project?
Yep.
Call and be like, hey, here's a link, log on, and we can talk about this.
Yep. And so he's got access to edit, but nobody else does. It's just him and I that have and he can't even with the edit link, he can't do any overlay work on it. So he's still got to go through me to get those on there. So,
But that
which we
makes sense.
found,
Kind of,
which we found out recently. But
because I
it's all
wondered
good.
about that just like yesterday or the day before. I was wondering if they could upload overlays from their
No.
editing
No,
perspective.
only the account holder can,
Okay.
which is not really that big of a deal. I did talk to Chris. I said, I'm doing a lot of work behind the scenes on this for you. So that will be reflected on your invoice. So, and he's fine with that. So anyway, but that's just something I'm trying is just sending out cold emails with a link to their job site.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I see y'all on LinkedIn with your ads, and not your ads, but your posts and whatnot. Alan and I are the only one in this group that's not doing that. We kind of feel left out.
I
But
haven't
I
done it
think,
for a few
You
days,
can
but
join
yeah,
us, no
last
problem.
month
I haven't
Well,
done
yeah.
much of it. I got my feet wet in it. I just haven't had time.
well, the reason I brought that up is that I saw when I was doom scrolling Reddit, or not Reddit. Yeah, I was doom scrolling Reddit yesterday afternoon, but last night I was on LinkedIn, had a couple connection requests, and then I hit the home button, and the first thing that popped up was Chad's still has 3 flights for April, and I'm going, this is May. Maybe he needs to change the date on that, go in and edit that post.
Mhm.
Was it an
'cause
old one though?
yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, because I
Every
haven't
day,
I
it'll
haven't
still
done
pop
anything
up.
for May. So
Right, but what I'm saying is that I don't know if you can go in and edit that, just change it from
oh
April to
yeah,
May,
okay, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
it's still appearing in my feed occasionally. So
It's interesting. Yeah,
yeah,
well, you know why? Because someone recently liked it or commented
yep,
on it, so it pushes it out to and it was
yep.
someone probably in your network that's also
So
connected to my network.
yeah, I would just go ahead and make that change from April to May, so that's showing current versus last month.
Yeah.
Um, and that's the only thing you have to do, because like I said, it showed up on my feed last night, and it's like, wait, this is April, and I looked at the date, and it was either last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Is what it was, either 1W or 2W. It's like I don't remember, but I saw that. And I saw Jeff and Peters day
Peter's
before.
killing it too.
Yeah,
Well, my goal is, it's one of my 12 week year goals, is to post 3 times a week on LinkedIn and on my other social media. Now I'm pushing LinkedIn a little bit harder for myself than the other ones, because the other ones, I have a couple of projects that I fly every week, and it's kind of like, okay, keep showing the same thing every week gets a little boring, right? So I have to find some other things to film or capture.
like you squinting at the sun.
I'm like, oh, like every picture, I'm like, oh God. And I can't smile in a picture. If you make me laugh, I'll smile, right? I'm like, I look like I'm never smiling. So I'm like, oh God, I hate these pictures. But it is just some way. Look at Drone Life. Look at some of the other drone channels, right? Or companies. Almost every day or 2 days, they put up a picture of a job site where they are. Right now, I flew that building in the background yesterday because on Tuesday I got a meeting with basically the facility management of their local community college. 2 months ago when I did my presentation at a luncheon, he approached me and said, "Hey, we got this new building coming up, and I'm thinking about a virtual tour," because I showed virtual tour as one of the things, basically the eye guides, right? And I'm like, okay, let me capture that picture or that building. So I made a little map. I made a couple of videos flying around. I did a master shot on it, right? So I can bedazzle them when I do my presentation or discussion with them next week. And I ran into the superintendent, and I don't know, it's about a 70,000 square foot building, right? So I need to prepare for that meeting to kind of talk about, what do we do, or what do you want to do? And I have basically two paths there. I'm going to project to them like, hey, you wanted a virtual tour for when that building opens in October, that everybody knows where to find stuff. And if you think about iGuide, Al, then it's like, well, they'll probably want the regular floor plan in it so people can kind of see what the building looks like. Where am I, right? You're here. The other thing that I'm thinking about is to project it to them more as also the emergency response tool, right? If they say, we just want you to kind of, show the walkways or the hallways of the building, I don't know, is that about half the square footage? I don't know. I'm just going to say that's the assumption I'm making. But if you wanted an emergency response, well, then you want every nook and cranny in the building, right? So then it's 70,000 square feet. But
Be a nice
I just
payday.
well, again, it's like, how do you, I can look it up, how much that would be, or how to get that, what the price or the cost of that would be. Sorry. But let's see, if I do, would it be facility management? Yeah, let's do facility management. That would be a, unfortunately, premium iGuide, 70,000 square feet. Would cost $1,400 to do by them.
That's going to be your cost.
That's my cost, yeah.
Double it.
Yeah.
Double it my ass. You need to be tripling that and a little bit more.
Well, the thing is, how long is it going to take me, right? Because I got to look at my costs and I look at my hours.
You're going to have at least a full day on that job site, if not multiple days.
Oh, I would think multiple days.
If you're, because like I did 84,000 square feet. Now, granted, we did it in stages because the work was being completed as we were doing it. And I think that was 4 visits all in. But I had 4 floors, and as they were before the sheetrock started to get hung, they had me pull me in and have me shoot the interior, just for proof of work, more or less. And it was a very nice payday, and it was more than $2,400, $2,800.
What did you use? iGuide as well?
No, I used 3D Vista.
Did you?
Yeah,
Which is a lot of extra work for my
a lot of
is.
work on the back end.
It is.
Yeah. So,
especially that many pictures.
yep. So, I mean, I had one floor that was 47,000 square feet, the ground floor.
Mhm.
But a lot of that was probably 10,000 of that was just the gym. So, but the gym was the staging area, so there was all kinds of stuff in the gym that I had to work around, and there was basically aisles, and on either side of the aisle was, plumbing stuff. Electrician had stuff here. The floor guys had their stuff, and it was just all lined up so that they could find their stuff. But that was all in that space.
Does that give you a floor plan with like the little buttons on it?
No, what you do with 3D Vista is kind of like doing an overlay. You pull your floor plan out of the prints, like out of the drawings, into it, and then you set wherever you want your hotspots at.
I gotcha.
So I would just put one in each room, and then each room, depending on size, would have anywhere from 7 to 12 hotspots in it. The gym was the exception; it had a lot more. Right. So I mean, you had that. So like in any given room, there was one hotspot. So in 3D Vista, My website is currently down, and I'm working on some stuff in behind, so I would pull it up, but I can't. If you look at my tours up on the right hand side, there's a little menu. Actually, notice on the bottom right side, there's a little plan icon. If you click on that, each room on that print will have one hotspot. That hotspot is linked to the pano somewhere in that room. And then once you get into that room, then you can go anywhere in the building from there. But it's just quicker if you want to go from the east side of the building to the west side of the building, just open up that floor and then just move to that room that you want to look at. I mean, you can navigate through because, I did the whole job so that, I basically walked the whole job taking photos. So you still had that, but the floor plan was much easier to navigate.
That's something I'm really evaluating because I've had requests for interior stuff. And, do I want to, I already got the X360 RS1, but do I want to go that route with Vista, or do I want to invest in something like an iGuide? I'm not sure yet.
So I'll tell you that I'm going to buy an iGuide.
Okay.
And the only reason I will dust off 3D Vista is that A, if I have a request for it, or B, I'm doing a secure facility. Because that's the only way you can do a secure facility, because everything else is in the cloud. Yeah, no, not even iGuide, because you still got to upload with 3D Vista, because that's all done in-house on your own machine.
I got you.
So
you kind of keep both options open.
Yep.
Okay. And I can tell you, Jeff, it's kind of interesting. There's part of me, like, the company Planitor is the one that makes the iGuides and the software and everything.
Mm-hmm.
If I go to the forum, if I see how many people are selling their iGuides, right? Where, like, as a company, I would look at that and say, holy shit, there's so many people that are, for some reason, not happy, right?
Okay.
And let me see if I can find a forum for.
So is it that they're not happy, or did they get a slap in the face by reality? They went in thinking there was a lot of money to be
haven't
made.
Used it much.
Yeah.
Let's see. So a lot of them are also selling their older units. So the new ones like that I bought in November, I happened to run into Al, and boom, cost me what, $2,400.
Hey, you're lucky you didn't run it. Lucky you didn't run into me.
Yeah, he's worse. much worse.
That's true. So yeah, I'm looking here. iGuide Planix Pros, people are selling, but that's almost like the R1 is a new one.
Correct.
I'm like, I don't see anybody selling any R1s. A lot of them are like limited time discount. Limited time discount on an R1 plus a 3-month audible description. Ends May 31st. So that's another month. Not quite sure why you would want a 3-month audible subscription, and what does that got to do with it? But if you can get $250 off, that's good.
Sure.
They have, what I kind of like is they have onboarding calls. You can sign up every Tuesday and Wednesday, like a 101 and a 102. And sometimes you're lucky, you're the only one on there. And you basically have private classes. You can ask every detailed question. And there's a lot of good information they share. Here's another thought I have, Jeff. If we can figure this out, if we both drive 45 minutes, we can meet in the middle, right?
Sure.
I have no problem sharing mine.
It sounds like Al and I.
Yeah, I would partner with you on that for sure.
Because, I will use it. I keep pushing it, and I think I will start using, when I get these kind of jobs, I will start using the iGuide. But it's kind of like, if we can do it that way, it's fine, right?
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that either. I'm sure we can work something out there.
Yeah, because the chances of, like, you needing it at one moment, and then we can always figure out a way, right?
Absolutely.
So these 45 minutes. Let's see, between Hagerstown and here, where do you meet? About, I guess, Frederick.
I'd say just on the other side of Frederick, maybe.
Yeah, somewhere, right? So that's easy.
I
Or
know
I'll
where
just
that is.
take my little airplane and I'll fly over and I drop it.
That's true too.
Any
Make sure
excuse.
you have a parachute that'll hold it if you're just going to drop it.
True. By the way, remember my whole thing where I'm trying to figure out how to drop golf balls with the M3E?
Yep.
So I got the sky hook, right? And I bought a little net, a little like towel basket on Amazon, and they can lift it up. And if you spin the thing twice, then it drops it. That's one of the ways. Or you can turn the light on, and then it sees the light and drops it. That works. The problem is you need to basically hook something at the bottom, hold it at the top. So when the top drops, then the whole thing flips over and drops all the balls out, right? They sell this big basket themselves, which works that way. So I was trying it last week, tie some rope to it. You know, the problem, I start spinning the whole friggin' thing, so the wire gets all tied up into each other. So that didn't work. So I'm still trying to figure out, and I reached out to them. They gave me some tips about what to do or how to do it. So we'll see. We'll see.
All right, now I gotta ask this question: how does dropping golf balls from a drone? How are you making money with that?
No, in this case, it's a contact I made on one of the networking groups that has a charity golf tournament in August.
Okay.
He paid $2,500 to hire a guy from Ohio last year to do it. So it's a raffle, right? They drop the balls, numbers on raffle, whoever is closest. I said, well, let me take a look at it. It said it won't cost $2,500. I said a little less. He said, yeah, and if you can make this work, we'll hire you to document the whole day, right?
Oh,
Okay.
I got you. Okay.
So I'm gonna try to figure this out. And there's once you see this, once somebody sees this, there's a lot of these charity golf tournaments in the area. Then they all want it. And I think what I simply need to do is I need to put some longer ropes on it so that I'm further out of the prop wash and it spins less. I just gotta spend some time figuring it out. But and I bought some beer pong balls because they're cheaper than regular ping pong balls and they don't bounce as much. So. But it's like somebody says, hey, can you do that? I'm like, well, let me look into it. And I'm doing a charity golf event on Monday all day, which I'm not getting paid for. It's like I said, I'm going to do at least 20% of my business is charity, but they're going to give me a form where I can say, so I can basically make up a day rate. Okay, $1,250 for doing that the whole day. And that's a tax deduction later for next year, right?
Yep.
But I'm going to meet a lot of people. I'm going to see a lot of people. I'm going to meet donors, people who obviously have money, right? It's just another way of reaching
I
people.
want to thank you for clarifying because you're talking about dropping golf balls last week and then golf balls again this week. And I'm thinking about you can't carry that many golf balls with an M3. But
No.
you changed to beer pong balls. It's like, oh, much lighter. There you go.
Well,
That makes more
actually, they're
sense.
not as the weight difference is not that big. I found these because this is one of the ones. It's a veteran charity that's going to do it, right? I found these ping pong balls with stars and stripes. I'm like, oh my god, that will be the coolest thing. But they weigh 1.5 times as much than a regular golf ball, and I can only lift about 700, 800 grams.
Sounds like a job for an M30T.
Yeah.
Yes, it is absolutely. Then I could pick up a hell of a lot more. Yeah.
Well, you know a guy.
Yes, you do.
I'm just saying. You know, we all
I
know a
did not
guy.
think about that. No.
Yeah, we do.
It's you have to figure out the mechanism. The
Yeah.
skyhook system is kind of neat. It's freaking 3D printed arms and body with the electronics, right? And it's the electronics you basically pay for. So like I said, there's three activation mechanisms. There's a button where you can just test it. There's the 2 times spinning. So if you do 2 full circle yaw, then it drops it. Or the light, right? So it has a little arm that sits right underneath one of the LED lights on the M3. And if it sees that light, then it triggers the sensor and then it'll turn the hook and drop the wire. But
So where's the problem?
problem is keeping the basket or the container from spinning like crazy.
Okay, gotcha. I thought they're gone.
And
Yeah.
and the other thing is, imagine if I'll put up a link. You can see